Hello, friends. Wesley with Expandcraft. Some of you are watching on Facebook. You just know me as your friend Wesley. Well, anyway, I am here. We're going to do just a little conversation with a expat who lives here in the Philippines, and Rob is going to tell you a little bit about his visa and how it works because he's military. Tell us, what visa are you here on, and how long have you been here? Who the hell are you, anyway?
My name is Ron Brooks. I've been here about 2 years. I'm retired Air Force, 20 years, active duty, but I've got what's called the SRRV Courtesy Visa, which is the best visa to have here as an expat, meaning it costs you less money. It cost me it cost me $1,400 for processing fee and a $1,500 deposit in a Philippine bank to keep the visa, and the renewal fee is like $10 a year.
Is that only for military retired?
It's only for military, ex-military, and also if you have a pension. I have two pensions. I got military pension coming in and Social Security. So at least if you at least have one pension coming in and you're ex-military with the DD Form 214, which is the discharge form from the military, that's all you need for the visa that I have. You got to show proof of the DD Form 214, the copy, and then proof of a pension or something coming in. I think it's an amount of $800 or more.
And you've been here how long?
About 2 years.
And what's your main reason for being here, as if I have to ask?
To retire, because I'm retired. I want to stay here. This will be considered my new home. I have a home still in Florida. I'm renting out right now, but I'm going to go back and forth. But once you have that retirement visa, there's no more visas required to go back and forth. And that's the beauty of the whole thing, because if you're on a visa, I think you're here for good. You're allowed to stay here, I think, 29 days or so.
Let's show them where you are.
Well, oh, yeah, show them the map.
All right, focus in. This is a tourist map of all of the Philippines. This is north, this is south, this is west. Palawan, right here.
Okay, the island I'm at right here is called Negros Oriental. It's actually Negros Oriental, Negros Occidental. I'm on the Oriental side in a town called Dumaguete on the coast. It's one of the best places, I think, to be because you got everything here. You got airport, you got ferries to go back and forth to the other islands. And it's just a smaller town. It's not really a big town, but there's basically everything here, and a lot of expats here too, which I'm not really crazy about too, but I'm here basically because the culture here, I love it. I love the temperatures like Florida where I come from.
Yeah,
and they speak English.
I think it's not as hot as Florida summer, especially at night. Florida doesn't get any cooler at night.
Correct.
Oh, let's pan slowly out and see where we are. That's Apo Island in the distance, and you can't see it because of the cloud cover. But there's another island beyond that called Siquijor. We'll show you that on the map.
And it's also a lot cooler here because you're actually higher in elevation.
So here, this is where we are. This is more of an actual map. So we're here, and right around this area is where we are sitting in this mountaintop. And Apo Island is a tiny little island right there. So we're looking down on Apo Island, and this big island is in the distance, but we can't see it for the cloud cover. Cebu is where I flew into, and then Bohol. If you come on our trip, you're going to go Bohol, Siquijor, Dumaguete, and then we're going to go flying way over here and spend a lot of time in Palawan. Not Palawan. Palawan is someone from Palawan, like someone from Tampa is a tampon. That's my joke. I'm sticking with it. Okay, so let's continue a conversation here. There's a difference in lifestyle, obviously, on the other side of the planet here. What advice would you give somebody who's thinking of retiring but has never been here before? First trip, say they spend 3 weeks.
You ever been to the Philippines yet? My first advice is go on YouTube. There's so many videos out there that explain what the Philippines is about. Filipina P is a great one. She'll tell you everything about this country, what to expect. Then you get a better idea of what you're getting into. Philippines is a great place, a great country.
Not for everyone.
It's just that the infrastructure and some things that you're used to in the Western world are not the same as here.
Don't get accustomed to thinking it's Western.
Right. The best advice I had when I was here, and I got frustrated a lot of times when I was here, traffic, a lot of things is just different. They're slow. you go to a bank, it's called online banking, and you've got to go there to give your address and do things. This might as well just call it a bank that's not online.
Yeah.
Anyways, to make a long story short, best advice I got was from a Filipino who's from a place called Darwin. We're going to go to diving here pretty soon. And he's been in the States working for over 30 years in cybersecurity. When he saw me diving with Darwin one day, he said, he didn't know me. He said, are you from the States? I said, yes. He said, where at? I said, I'm from Florida. So that's interesting. I've been over 30 years working in the States, and this is my hometown in Darwin. He says, how do you like it here so far? I said, you know what? I said, it's great, but there's so many issues with driving and things that I'm used to in the Western world. But I'm used to it. I'm getting more used to it every day. But they don't do things quite the normal way as I'm accustomed
Normal.
to. But I've been all over the world being in the military, so I get accustomed pretty quick. He said, let me tell you something. I spent 30 years in your country. I'm coming here because my mother passed away, and I had the house that she has in Darwin that's mine now. And I'm so glad to be here because I love the money and making the money, the hustle in the States. But you know what? I got tired of hustle. I made enough money. I'm here to slow things down, and this is the best place to do it in the world, right here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And my advice to you is keep your expectations low, and you'll have no problem getting accustomed to this country. And once I heard that, it made my day.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
be in a hurry when you order at a restaurant, and don't expect your food to come out at the same time as your accompaniment, because it probably won't.
Right. I mean, it's just
yeah.
it's just not what you would expect in the Western world. But like I said,
But it's the people are wonderful.
Great people.
The places to go. There's endless variety. If you want the mountains or the ocean, well, you can see the ocean from the mountain. You can see the mountains from the ocean pretty much anywhere in this entire country. So maybe you get in the deep interior part of some of the larger islands. There's only 2 of the larger islands. But my gosh, the adventure is endless. And
like one more thing to
Stay
add
relaxed.
also, the most important thing here is the language. There's no language barrier here. There is because they speak mainly Tagalog and Visayan, depending what part of the island you're at. But they all understand English, and they speak it pretty good. So
Pretty
if you have
much.
any problems, no matter where you're at, even middle of province someplace, you have a problem, you go there and speak English, they will understand
Somebody
what
will
you're
understand
saying.
for sure.
Correct, and they'll talk back to you in English also. So
especially the kids.
especially in Asia, that's always a problem. And I've been all over, not all over Asia, but I've been in Thailand, other places in Asia, but that is a problem. And even if they have an education with an English major, like for example, I knew some people that were students in Thailand, that were Thai natives that had an English major. I still couldn't understand what they were trying to tell me in English, and they couldn't understand me that well. But here in the Philippines, you know, they have a history with America. We were
Yeah.
colonized the country for a while.
You know, it's funny you should mention the history, because that's one of the first things that I would suggest is that you research the history of the Philippines. Remember, the Philippines, as named, is a relatively young country. They've only had their independence as the Philippines since after World War II. However, these are an ancient people, thousands of years prior to World War II. And so if you research not just the recent 100-year history, but the history of the Philippines before it was the Philippines, which is King Philip from Spain when they invaded and all of that jazz. Study the history, get an appreciation of what the Philippines is all about before you start thinking of Philippines as a country. Think about the Philippines as a collection of different peoples that have been united as a country. And how that happened and how long it took is a fascinating, fascinating story. I'd like to see more movies made about just that sort of thing. And there are some documentaries, but I'm finding it hard to find really good documentaries out there, but there are some. So my advice, research the history of the Philippines and their recent politics, because it's cray. You think United States is crazy? No, Philippines got us beat. Let's wrap this all up. Basically, we're just trying to show you on the map where we are, and to tell you kind of a teaser, if you will, about the Expandcraft trip that's coming up, Expandcraft Philippines project, and what that's all about. This video isn't about that. There are others. But it's an invitation for you to start learning about the Philippines, because later you'll find out about an invitation to come visit the Philippines with me Mr. Expandcraft, or Wesley if you know me in private. That's pretty much what we wanted to shoot here and show you where we are. This is just one of many different vistas that you can take in here in the Philippines. So much to explore. This guy's big on scuba, so we're going to go do some snorkeling.
We're doing some free diving and some snorkeling at Darwin Marine Sanctuary down the hill. You can probably see a part of it from here by Apo Island. We're going to drive down there in about a half hour and get wet.
That's APO, Apo Island.
It's also called, they call it Turtle Island, I think, too, because there's so many sea turtles there.
Yeah.
Which I'll see sea turtles probably at Darwin Marine Sanctuary every once in a while also. And everything is just protected there, not everywhere else in the reefs or beaches here.
Oh, and no sharks.
There is no sharks. I have not seen the sharks since I've been here. I can't say it's shark free, but most of the Philippines you will not see things like the bull sharks we have.
You'll hear that. You'll hear that about the Philippines. So people say, and there are no sharks. Well,
correct.
No sharks. Yeah, this is not a thing.
Right. It's a lot safer here, I think, in the water in these marine waters than most other places.
A lot safer than it is on the road on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah, that's a different story, but yeah.
Yeah, riding a motorcycle in this country, in the populated areas, which is most of the area, is something. Oh, speaking of populations, up here in the mountains, it's the instant that you get off of the flats, everybody lives down there, between the water and the mountain. The main body of the population throughout all of the Philippines lives on the flat area that is in a relatively short band around the mountains. The instant you turn up into the mountains, the traffic goes away. And then you're just farmers and rural areas and empty roads. It's really kind of nice.
Because all your ferries, your airports, everything is close to the water here.
Everything is close.
All your shopping centers, your malls, everything is there. And in the hills here, you'll have basically farmers farming.
And that's where you can find a wonderful place to stay. $30 American for a really, really nice place.
Even cheaper than that.
Well, yeah, you can go cheap. But why would you fly to the other side of the planet and live like a broke-ass backpacker if you're a man of means or a person of means? Yeah, come on, spend $30 a night. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right, gang, that's it. Expandcraft.com, Philippines Project. Click on that and learn something.